let's start by just learning a little bit about you. I know that you're an OM now, but I want to hear a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I started studying computer science in university, and I joined the Kix development team in Hersey Lab back in 2007. And since then, I've done a number of roles. So I've been a developer for a number of different products, and I've managed teams of developers developing Kix and other things as well. At one point, I helped to set up a community of, so a worldwide community of people who are new to Z. And that's incidentally now called New to Z, catchy name. And now I'm an offering manager, helping to design and build an offering, ZOS Connect, which aims to connect even more people to the platform through APIs. So I've kind of got this, I've had the opportunity and the privilege really to see how people engage with the platform from a number of different perspectives. And I've seen this change from when I joined, where everything was green screen, to where we are now, where we're leading the charge with agile and design thinking and DevOps and modern tools. So it's been really exciting, really interesting, and and then it sort of got me somewhere like here.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you learned a lot in that transformation as I was going through the Kix Lab, as you were experiencing as a developer, then as a manager of a team.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of those lessons learned.
Yeah, so I mean, different things are important at different parts of the journey. I think the thing that most consistently comes up whenever you're trying to change something, especially from a developer perspective, and personally for me, it really comes down to speed and confidence, or speed and accuracy, as I sometimes say. And that's really about, speed is fairly straightforward. I've got a lot of things on. As a developer, I've got tasks to do. I want to do them as quickly as possible. I don't want tools to get in the way. It's kind of like, if you're a wizard on the green screen and you've got all the muscle memory, great. But, I want an Eclipse tool, and, I want my autocomplete and my mouse and my right click. If you've got someone joining the team today, she might be more interested in a web UI, something like VS Code, and with stuff like Zoe, we can sort of facilitate that as well. But the point is that you shouldn't really care how we write the code. It's more about as long as it gets into the source code management system, fine, then that's okay. And then once it's there, you want to know whether or not you've broken something. So I'm a pretty good developer, but I still make mistakes sometimes. And so you check your code in and you think, well, did I break something? And when I first started, that could sometimes take 2 weeks for certain things. Someone runs a manual test every couple of weeks. Oh, you broke this. And you're like, oh, that sucks, right? So but where we are now, it's pretty much essential to have modern pipelines and sort of modern practices around DevOps. And I see both us and our clients using things like GitHub and Bitbucket, Jenkins, Maven, and you pretty much put it together just like you do on any other platform. So I think there's a lot of technology behind that that's enabled it, and it's really good to see.
So we talked about what it was like for you when you joined, using the green screen tools.
Yeah.
What is it like now for a new developer joining the team?
It's actually quite a pertinent question. So I have a designer on my team, and just last week he came to me and said, hey, I want to learn how to code COBOL. How do I get set up with a Kix region and get going? And I was like, oh, you want to learn the dark arts? This is going to be interesting. So I thought back to when I joined, and that was a matter of kind of finding the hallowed piece of JCL that kind of created the data sets and compiled your code. It was handed down through generations of developers, and you'd end up with this sort of fragile environment that if you ever broke it, it's going to take ages to set it back up again. And I was thinking, well, actually, how far we've come, because for him, it's a much more straightforward process. It's basically, we use ZOSPT to spin up a Kix region for him. And he puts a couple of plugins into Eclipse, and then he can write COBOL, gets the highlighting, push a button, build, deploy. And it really gives him this environment where he's free to play and experiment. If he messes it up, we just sort of kill that container, spin up another one, it's not a problem. And it gives him the freedom to play, really, in a sort of risk-free environment. And I think that those emerging technologies around containerization, isolation, are really important to, any platform, but especially Z, to help drive innovation.
That's wonderful. thank you for telling us a little bit about your story and the advancements that have been made in the Kix Lab. I think, guys, while this is a IBM team, this can be done in any customer shop. You know, the tools that they're using, the techniques they're using, the process they're using, and we have communities that can help you make that transition. You know, developing on the mainframe today does not have to be the way it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We made a lot of advancements, and it's time to reset our thinking in what developing on the mainframe can be, as we just heard from Anthony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark.
All right.